Hello, my name is Jean Wells and I'm a potter in Wisconsin. I live in the Milwaukee area in Brown Deer, a little village on the northwest side of town. I want to introduce myself and give you a tour of my pottery studio. I do work from home, but I wanted to start here in my office where I spend a lot of time communicating with customers, fulfilling orders online, and promoting who I am and what I do. So we're going to switch now to my phone here and start the tour. Okay, so this is, I have some orders here waiting for customers. You can see their names. Well, I do a lot of local pickup here in the area since I have a big local customer base. And I have a little side hustle that I started this year during the COVID crisis, and it's skyline merchandise. I have a pattern that I put on my pottery. I hand draw it on my pottery of the Madison and Milwaukee skylines, but now I'm getting it produced on other pieces. I have some t-shirts and water bottles and tumblers, cards. These beautiful books were made by another artist you might know, Joni Graves. She lives in the near central of the state, near Baraboo area. So she made these beautiful hand-bound books for me. So those are all for sale on my online store. All right, so let's go out to the studio. My studio is in the garage. And it happens to be a rainy day. So here we go. This is my morning commute. There we go. Welcome to Jean's Clay Studio. Alright, so this is about a 200 square foot space that I work in. It's quite small, but I make it work. I have a pottery wheel, and I have work in progress, well, I will talk about in a moment. One kiln in here and one kiln in another part of the garage. This is where I mix my glazes and my slips. This is my one table where I do all my glazing and making of pots, wedging of clay, recycling clay. This is some clay here that I'm in the process of recycling. Okay. And this is my pottery wheel. I will insert some video footage of me throwing on the wheel for you. So we start with the centering process here, where we're in a way wedging the clay on the wheel, raising it up and pushing it down to get all the particles lined up, so when we actually start throwing the piece, pulling the piece into shape, it'll be more even. And now I'm opening up the vase, and then I'll focus on the bottom first before I start pulling the sides. Now starts the pulling of the side walls into the actual vase itself. And I'll repeat this process several times as the vase gets taller and taller, and then I will shape the vase more at the very end. after I throw on the wheel, these are pieces that have been thrown, handles put on, and these are waiting for some colored clay slip, which I have some pieces here that I just slipped about an hour ago. So these are waiting to be carved. So here is a real-time filming of me carving my astronaut and rocket ship design on a mug. It's one of my favorites, and I chose the astronaut as my logo because I think it's funny and fun. And it will speed up in a little bit here for you. But I actually want to show you, a little bit of the carving in real time so you can see the pace at which I draw and then carve. We have quiet focus going on here as I carve. I'm going to add a little music for you for your viewing pleasure. So since this graffito carving is a big part of how I get my imagery on my pieces, I'm going to show you a little bit more intricate carving of the Madison skyline design that I hand draw and carve onto platters and vases and plates. As you can see, I have several different colored slips that I applied earlier in the piece, and now I'm doing the carving part. This is sped up to about 4 times the speed. Alright, I don't want to bore you too much, so I'm going to speed this up and cut it off and then continue on with the studio tour. I carved them, and these here are pieces that I did yesterday. I carved. Some of these I think were done the day before. And they're all waiting to dry before they go into the first kiln. Some more work waiting for slip. These are pieces that came out of the first firing in the bisque kiln, it's called, and now I'm actually painting on the extra color. This is with my black slip, which has already been carved, and now I hand paint all the details, or the color details, in. These still need to be finished. So here I am hand painting the color inlays on some of my work, the sugar sculpt platter. So after the bisque and the painting, I mix up a clear glaze. It's the only glaze that I have, and then I apply the glaze to the pieces, which you will see shortly. Here I am using my Talisman sieve to help break down the glaze and make it nice and smooth before applying onto the pieces. Once I am done applying the clear glaze to all the pieces, they go back into the kiln for the last and final glaze firing, which you will see shortly. And then I'll just show you my other kiln here. This is also where I store a lot of my display materials for shows, and it's a lot of times where I keep my pottery in storage as well. Here's my last kiln. It's actually cooling down. I fired it last night. We'll take a little peek. There we go. I got a bunch of mugs, a little chalice in there for a customer, friend, and that's it. Give you one last little span. So I'm gonna show some photos here of some of my current work: mugs, platters, bowls, berry bowls, vases, and then just a few of my Skyline merchandise. This is a Madison magnet, inspired by the Madison design and Milwaukee designs that I put hand carve onto my plates. And I also have some bandanas, which turned out really nice. They're pretty fun. And you'll see a picture here of my daughter modeling for me. Kayak platter, little platter and bowl for crudité, and then a few of my more heavily designed pieces here. Great. Well, I just want to take the time to thank you for taking a few moments to find out about Jean's Clay Studio. Feel free to call me or message me through my Etsy shop or my website, Jean's Clay Studio. You can send me an email. And reach out at any time if you have any questions, or if you're looking for something special and you can't find, or you can't figure out how to work the online shopping page. If you are local, I do have a coupon code, which is local pickup, all one word, all caps, and that will eliminate the shipping fees when you check out on Etsy. And then just notify me when you'd like to come pick up. I'd be happy to set your package out for you. So thanks again for tuning in, and thanks for supporting Handmade.